the trade psychology part, but we also want to start to get a handle on how we can create these models in the market, and we'll come to that in a second, Peter. I'll just run through this first, and I'll answer some questions on the actual system itself. So let's just jump in on intro. But basically, what we're looking for is we're looking to develop a model, and really a model is something that we're applying to not just our trade psychology, but our money management and also our system. And let's have a look here. So really, as I mentioned before, there are there are basically three systems that we're trying to work. Copy of that spreadsheet. So don't worry, you'll have everything that we do tonight, so you can use that as a guide. But that's really the points there. Just to add there, that's not a lot of points on the DAX really, because we tracked and traded the 610 and it was averaging 100 points a week for about 8 months. So it had a massive run during that, just about 6 months after that period that we tracked there. So on markets like that and other markets like gas, the potential is incredible if you've got a positive expectation. So if you've got a system that will give you a positive return on its performance, then basically the model you apply can just absolutely accelerate the growth of your account. So let's talk about our systems, because the most important thing for us is that our systems are what is going to drive our performance and our success. So as you can see, we've got a trade psychology system, and we've talked about that. We talked about it last week. We're going to do more work on that as we go along. We've started our 30-day challenge. So that trader's mindset and trade psychology, that's a system within itself, a model. So it's all about visualization, making sure that we're able to build our confidence and our resilience in the market by just giving ourselves that ability to create a positive, confident mindset and to trade confidently in the market. So that's one of our systems. Our system entry and exit, well, I've listed it as system entry and exit. Really, the system is just the tool that we're using to grab those points out of the market. Now, we know that obviously when we're trading, there are going to be costs to trade, but our goal is to make sure that, number one, we've got a positive expectation, and number two, that our system entry and exits allow us to have that 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever it is that we can achieve on our system, because our goal is to then take our system kind of results and our performance and apply our money management and position sizing model or strategy or system. So they're really the three components of our trading kind of model, and we want to make sure that when we put these together, that they're all running at their optimal level. So making sure that we have the ability to take money out of the market, and we leverage off the ability to run potentially good trailing trades that net us out a good risk to reward, but also that we use a model for money management that allows us to accelerate our growth in our account. Doing the work that we've done, so we all should really have started to build and back tested our model. So our system, now we're starting to collect this data. As we've gone through and looked at the data that I've got on the DAX there, we should have a similar data set for the market we're tracking. It may not be 676 trades, but it will be a certain number of trades, and this is why it's important to do that work to number one, obviously build our confidence in our systems, entries, exits, the way we trade the system. but also to ultimately give us this data set that we're going to apply our money management system on. So what that's going to do is that's going to build our confidence. Obviously, once we've gone through and tested our market that we're tracking, or our underlying market, we start to look at our data and break down that to work out when we should be trading. We apply a model that we just looked at or something similar to the data that we've collected to work out what is the best way for us to approach and trade this market, and what money management model are we going to apply. And what that does is that builds our confidence, and then our kind of final component to that is the internal control. So we talk about making sure that our trade psychology is right. So that's just making sure that we can execute those trades without being drawn into over trading, impulse trading, breaking our rules. And that internal control then helps us to achieve the results. We don't have to go for a ridiculous number of points. That's not a lot of points on a market. Like, we could probably apply that model to any market any system that's profitable, and see some incredible results, and you'll see that when you start applying it to your data. So it's all about thinking about that end game and making sure that we know where we want to go, we know what we want to achieve, but we also need to control the way we get there. So the confidence and that internal control will help us do that. So as I said, there are 3 systems in our trading model. So a little bit of an intro about, obviously, money management, and we need to, part of tonight's presentation is going to be all about looking at money management, looking at the potential for money management, why it's so critical to our system and our performance. So just briefly, money management, the science of determining how much risk on each individual trade. So how much you're going to risk on each individual trade. So proper money management, so the money management we're going to be focusing on will be basing our decisions on mathematical calculations. So we're going to be looking at formulas and strategies or different money management models to get the most out of our system performance. Now, you may find that we might run, say,